Guys, I am so happy because we finally got some Ben Simmons news. I'm very upset with myself for not starting the channel sooner because it felt like I could have gotten about 10 videos off of him. But anyways, that's in the past, and I will try to give you guys a quick little recap of everything that happened in this one video. So, without further ado, cue the What's going on, T gang? In the last news we heard concerning Ben Simmons, we heard that Joel Embiid got very upset the fact that Ben Simmons said, and I quote, mostly the Philadelphia 76ers offense was catering around Joel Embiid. And the reality, Joel Embiid clapped back and said, if you look at our team throughout history, our entire team is built around Ben. Then, if you actually consider my playing style, I had to step back and make a sacrifice and play a little bit more around the perimeter and take more 3-pointers and sacrifice my own output in order to appease Ben Simmons and in order to put him in the best situation to succeed. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The Philadelphia fans are starting to turn on Ben Simmons. For example, they were chanting F Ben Simmons at AEW. And here's what's funny to me. I think Ben Simmons shouldn't have a problem sitting out the entire season because at the very worst he could lose around $15 to $20 million, which is basically pocket change for him. But yeah, listen to this. Ben Simmons' camp is starting to get a little bit concerned about this because apparently Ben Simmons' representation's discussion with the Players Association, in which the Players Association said they will be unable to recoup the money being deducted from the $8.25 million sitting in escrow. And it was communicated to the Sixers that these early fines were higher than expected. So, Ben Simmons' camp tried to go out and say, is there any way we could get his money back that's currently sitting in escrow? If you don't know, escrow means that there's an intermediate party holding down the money. It's not in the 76ers control, which means they don't have the money, and it's all of Ben Simmons' camp control. This escrow company is either going to give the money back to the Sixers or a portion of the money to Ben Simmons as he is being fined, or if Ben Simmons shows up, it'll all be sent to Ben Simmons or the portion he's entitled to after he missed a specific amount of games. The Players Association told Ben Simmons' camp, this guy is missing games, there's no way he can get his money back. Now, the reason we are making today's video is because we got multiple updates from sources and we are just going to go through all of them. The first one comes from Pompey on the Sixers, who is a writer for Philadelphia, who believes Caris LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, and at least one first rounder should be enough to get a deal done for Ben Simmons. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, if it's a good deal or not. If you ask me, I definitely think this is a good enough trade for Ben Simmons, even though the Sixers won't be as competitive as they once were. It's better to get him off now before his value tanks some more, but I don't think the Sixers are looking for his type of. And the reason why is because of this Athletic article. Now, there's people going around saying the Nets should trade Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons, and this would be a horrible trade for Nets. And as I said in my last video, if the Nets trade Kyrie Irving, they're not going to win that championship. Now, there has been a proposed Ben Simmons-Damian Lillard trade swap, and that's Daryl Morey's dream scenario, aka one of the head honchos of the Sixers, but that isn't really realistic. And actually, there have been multiple scenarios like this with all of these bizarre trade proposals. Before the NBA draft, the 76ers hits up the Golden State Warriors and asks for Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, and their number 7th and 14th pick in the NBA draft, which we all know is now Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, and the Warriors said no. The Warriors already talked about whether or not Simmons could play with Draymond Green because he would occupy the same role. Plus, I'm sure even the Warriors wanted him. They wouldn't want to give up all of those assets for someone who doesn't want to play with his team. They also hit up the Toronto Raptors and asked for Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and the number 4 pick in a trade for Ben Simmons, and the Toronto Raptors obviously said no. The Sixers also rejected a Malcolm Brogdon and the first round pick, and to be honest, I can understand, because this is a 3-time All-Star, an all-defensive first team, and this year's runner-up for a Defensive Player of the Year. But at the same time, you can't ask for so much because currently his value has been tanked. And this latest trade proposal that was recently rejected, according to Shams Charania, is going to sound more of the same. Now, apparently, according to Shams, one of my favorite sources, the Philadelphia 76ers, reportedly asked the Portland Trail Blazers for 3 first-round picks, 3 pick swaps, and CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons. That's right, I couldn't believe this when I saw it myself, and this is where things get weird for Ben Simmons, because Daryl Morey is basically asking for 6 draft picks for Ben Simmons, and no team is going to accept that. I mean, if it was CJ McCollum alone, then yes, you can understand that, because Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons would make a dangerous duo. But Daryl Morey has this idea that this is what Ben Simmons' trade value is, and he is not going to budge. He's a shark, and if you ask me, the ball's in the Sixers' court right now, because Ben Simmons needs the Sixers more than the Sixers need him. Because if Simmons doesn't get traded, he'll just keep getting fined and eventually lose way more than anticipated. If I was Ben Simmons right now, I would still show up and just not get fined, but I will basically pull a James Harden, just show up, maybe gain some weight, and play crap. Don't put any effort this time. I will shoot but miss every shot purposely and make bad passes until Sixers have no choice but either let me go out of my contract or trade me for Malcolm Brogdon. But before I end this video, I just want to let you know that Ben Simmons recently listed his Philadelphia residence for sale at $3.1 million. So it sounds like Simmons is ready to move on from the Sixers. Anyways, that's gonna end the video, guys. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new, and be sure to tell me what do you think of this situation, and if Ben Simmons to get traded, what team do you think is best for him? In my opinion, it's the Trail Blazers. Anyways, until next time, later.
Here we go.